eating, and the food environment was very different back then than it was now. Starvation versus almost excess food.
Right.
So the food guide has had to change and evolve over time.
So let's talk about some of the major changes. What are the shifts we've seen in this 12 years, which is a pretty big span?
Yeah, so I've partnered with the Egg Farmers of Canada to share what I think are the top changes with the new food guide. Number one, it goes beyond food. So it doesn't just talk about what to eat or what not to eat. It talks about how to eat. Slow down, eat with your family, cook from scratch, enjoy food, avoid those distracted options when you're eating in the car. Number two is there's food groupings, not food groups. So no more 4 food groups, right? Remember those 4 food groups?
I get the difference
but
now.
Food groupings. So vegetables and fruits are one grouping. Whole grain foods are another grouping, so barley, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, and then protein foods are another grouping, and you hit it right on. So tofu, nuts, beans, seeds, eggs, which we know are an amazing source of protein and vitamin D. Fish can be included in this protein group, small amounts of meat, and chicken. So those are the groupings of food. And the final big change is that we're looking at proportions of food, not portions. So no serving sizes, because that was so confusing. But looking at your plate, half your plate vegetables and fruit, a quarter of the plate whole grains, and a quarter of the plate protein foods.
I find that when we talk about food in general, it can get very confusing because there's just so much out there, and there's so many different diets, and there's so many things that you hear, this is good for you, this isn't good for you. So do you find that when you talk to people, they don't even know where to start? People have forgotten how to eat because we just don't know how to do it properly anymore.
You know, you raise such a great point. There's so much misinformation and so many fad diets out there, and we need to remember that there is no one diet for everyone. So the guide is a guide. It's a pattern of healthy eating, and if you need that one-on-one information because you're an athlete or you're vegetarian or you have an allergy or you have a health condition, you need to talk to a dietitian because we can give you that specialized life-changing advice.
I'm working on portion control, obviously, because whatever's in front of me, I will finish. So I put a little. Is the room at all? Because I have such a sweet tooth. I know you can go to sweet fruits, but for processed sugars, I mean, it sounds so obvious.
It's pie day.
Yeah, the struggle is real. I guess no.
You know, it's great that you raised that because I think so many Canadians share that same concern. I mean, food should be enjoyed. My dad's a chef, so we always had food whatever we wanted. So we want to take the guilt away from eating. Food should be enjoyable. Know that as part of your balanced diet, you can have these little treats every now and then. Sort of follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, eat really well. Follow that food guide. 20% of the time, you can have a few indulgences, but it's that overall pattern of eating that you want to maintain and have those healthy choices.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much. See, that's